Chapter 8 The Vegetarian Diet. Anyone who has given even a small amount of study to mysticism and yoga has come across vegetarianism as an essential prerequisite to spiritual progress. It would be helpful to discuss the reasons for this requirement from the perspective of health, morality, and the spirit. In the West today, there are hundreds of thousands of vegetarians. The great bulk of these believers practice vegetarianism largely because of health and moral convictions. While these are valid reasons to follow the diet, there is a more important reason why true saints and mystics always require that we abstain from flesh foods. It is true that the toxins and disease organisms in the flesh of animals transmit illness to humans. It is also true that the high concentration of uric acid places a burden upon the body's capability to dispose of it adequately. There are countless valid health reasons why one can greatly profit from abstaining entirely from flesh foods. The serious student of health can find many informative books on the subject in any health food store or library. What we wish to stress here is our support for the health enthusiasts, as their case is sound. But we would prefer to deal with the moral and spiritual aspects of vegetarianism, since this is more in keeping with the purpose of this book. We need to understand that the term vegetarian is in itself somewhat confusing. Strict vegetarians do not eat meat, fish, fowl, eggs, or any animal product, including milk and cheese. They may even restrict themselves to a so-called fruitarian diet, which consists solely of fruits, nuts, and berries. Other vegetarians abstain from flesh foods, but permit the use of eggs. If one carefully studies the teachings of the saints, one will find that the diet prescribed by them is a lactovegetarian diet. That is, the saints instruct their disciples to abstain from all flesh foods, including fertilized or unfertilized eggs. This means that a sincere disciple of a master does not partake of any kind of animal flesh, whether it is meat, fish, fowl, reptile, insect, or any other member of the animal kingdom. He is, however, freely permitted to use milk and dairy products, hence the term lacto-vegetarian. Milk is produced as a food for animals and does not involve the killing of any form of life. In Genesis chapter 1, verses 29 to 30 of the Old Testament, we are told, "And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so." In the early part of this century, a document came to light which may prove to be one of the earliest writings concerning the man called Jesus. Although the authenticity of the Essene Gospel of Peace is a matter of debate among scholars and theologians, it may not be out of place to quote it since it could cast new light on the teachings of Jesus. In this Gospel, Christ tells us in chapter 22, "Satan forgives you nothing, and you must pay him all. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wound for wound, life for life, and death for death. For the wages of sin is death." Here, Christ has validated the karmic theory, telling us that we will pay for whatever we inflict on others. He continues, "Kill not, neither eat the flesh of your innocent prey, lest you become the slaves of Satan. For that is a path of suffering, and it leads unto death. Obey, therefore, the words of God. Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. to you it shall be for meat. Notice that Christ has referred his disciples to the original commandment in Genesis, and he reminds them that this was the Lord's direct order concerning diet. He points out that we will become the slaves of Satan if we eat meat. This means that we will become indebted to Satan as he is the administrator of the law of karma. A slave must go where his master orders, and, therefore, we must keep coming to this earth because we have become karmically indebted to Satan. Christ continues, "And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is breath of life, I give every green herb for meat. Also the milk of everything that moveth and liveth upon earth shall be meat for you. But flesh and blood which quickens it shall ye not eat. And surely your spurting blood will I require, your blood wherein is your soul. I will require all slain beasts, and the souls of all slain men. For I, the Lord, thy God, am a God strong and jealous, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments." Christ explains that we must live only upon the vegetable kingdom and the milk of animals. He points out that we will have to pay dearly for the killing of animals. His mention of the children paying for the father's iniquity is a reference to the theory of reincarnation, meaning that we are the children of the future and we will have to pay later, if not now. As Lord Buddha put it, "Do you not understand that those others are you yourself? You yourself will reap what you sow, not others." Returning to the Essene Gospel, after his sermon, all of the disciples of Jesus were silent except one who asked, "What am I to do, Master, if I see a wild beast rend my brother in the forest? Shall I let my brother perish, or kill the wild beast? Shall I not thus transgress the law?" This poor disciple was confused by the dilemma facing him, allowing his fellow human being to die, or killing an animal. But masters are not heartless, and they take a practical view in such matters. The karmic law takes motive into consideration. Jesus answers his disciple thus, "It was said to them of old time, all beasts that move upon the earth, all the fish of the sea, and all the fowl of the air are given into the power. I tell you truly, of all creatures living on the earth, God created only men after his image. Wherefore, beasts are for man, and not man for beasts. You do not therefore transgress the law if you kill the wild beast to save your brother's life. For I tell you truly, man is more than the beast. But he who kills a beast without cause, though the beast attack him not, through lust for slaughter, or for its flesh, or its hide, or yet for its tusks, evil is the deed which he does, for he is turned into a wild beast himself. Wherefore is his end also as the end of the wild beast." Christ lucidly explains that those of us who kill animals for food or for their hides will suffer a similar end in the future. Naturally, using the hide of an animal that has already died of natural causes would not fall in this category, as the body is of no value whatsoever once the soul has departed. This has been a traditional practice in India. Whenever a dead animal is found, its hide is used. Or in shearing a sheep, for example, there would be no karma involved, for the sheep is not damaged in any way. Then Jesus explains to his disciples why Moses had written so many laws regarding how an animal must be killed, so as to cause it the least possible pain. God commanded your forefathers, 'Thou shalt not kill.' But their hearts were hardened, and they killed. Then Moses desired that at least they should not kill men, and he suffered them to kill beasts. And the heart of your forefathers was hardened yet more, and they killed men and beasts likewise. But I say unto you, kill neither men nor beasts, nor yet the food which goes into your mouth. For if you eat living food, the same will quicken you. But if you kill your food, the dead food will kill you also. For life comes only from life, and from death comes always death. For everything which kills your food kills your bodies also, and everything which kills your bodies kills your souls also. We must remember that the Jews, under Moses, had been a captive people and were poorly educated and primitive. Despite all the lofty teachings Moses gave to them, they reverted to idol worship the moment Moses went away for 2 or 3 days to commune with God. They promptly forgot all the teachings and went back to their former way of life. Therefore, Moses found it nearly impossible to control the bloodthirsty mob, and so he tried to reduce the harm to the animals by prescribing a merciful way of killing. But Christ makes it very clear that this is not the teaching as given by the Lord. We must not kill any animals under any conditions other than self-preservation in the event of attack. The reader may conclude that plants are also living and that karma must be incurred on a vegetarian diet also. That is correct. All life subsists on life in this world, which is one of the best reasons why we should desire to leave this plane of killing. To understand the reason for limiting food intake to the vegetable kingdom, we refer at length to the words of Maharaj Charan Singh. It is true that we are extinguishing life even when we are on a vegetarian diet. In fact, we cannot drink a glass of water without taking life, even though it is not visible except under a powerful microscope. When we breathe, we take life, as there are so many microbes in the very air we breathe. It is impossible to live in this world without killing. But there is a difference of degree. All that we see in this world is made up of one or more of the 5 elements which we call earth, water, fire, air, and ether, or Akash. The human body is the top of the creation, because human beings have all the 5 elements active within them. We can divide this whole universe into 5 classes. 1. The plant kingdom, which includes vegetables, flowers, and fruit. They all have life, but water is the only active element in them, the other 4 being dormant. 2. Insects. They have 2 elements active in them, namely fire and earth. 3. Birds, in which 3 elements are active. 4. Mammals have 4 elements active in them. They lack only the ether element, which is the power of discrimination. 5. Human beings have all 5 elements active in them. They are therefore called the top of the creation, as they are the only species having the power of discrimination in addition to all the other 4 elements. Naturally, there is a difference in the degree of payment we have to make for killing these lives. For example, in this world, if you pluck somebody's flower or help yourself to the vegetables in his garden, at the most you will be reprimanded. If you kill somebody's chicken, you are likely to be fined. If you kill somebody's cow or buffalo, you may receive a heavier fine or even imprisonment. But if you kill a human being, you may have to pay with your own life, according to the law of capital punishment. So in each case, there is killing, but the degree of punishment is also in proportion to the degree of life which you destroy. Such is the law in this world. As it is virtually impossible for us to exist in this world without killing, the saints advise us to go on a strictly vegetarian diet. This enables us to live a healthy life and, at the same time, to collect the smallest load as we are taking life consisting of one active element only, in the form of fruits and vegetables. In this way, we collect the least load possible during our lifespan. For example, if a 100-pound weight is put on your head, you cannot walk with it, and perhaps you cannot even stand. On the other hand, if you carry only 5 pounds, you may even be able to run with it. The weight is there with you, but it makes all the difference how much weight you are carrying. Similarly, we should try to collect the least amount of karma possible in our lifespan. The load we have to carry for killing a vegetable or fruit is much less than the load we have to carry for killing or being responsible for someone else killing for us, a bird or an animal. It is only a question of degree. The saints tell us that whatever meditation we do daily helps to clear, to pay off the load of karma which we would have to pay otherwise for these innocent killings of vegetables and fruits that we do every day for our existence in this world. So when our purpose of existence is to attain God realization, and we try to achieve that purpose by daily spiritual practice, these karmas that we incur daily through the annihilation of vegetable life are automatically taken care of through our devotion to spiritual practice. But if we are not concerned about our destination at all, and just to fill our stomachs we kill or are instrumental in having killed for us fish or fowl or other animals, surely we will have to pay for our evil deeds. And that becomes such a heavy load that we can hardly stand, let alone walk or run. Of course, killing for sport is much worse than killing for food and results in a much heavier load. That is why the saints advise us to leave this world permanently and return to the Lord. Only then can we be safe from all this killing. If we kill anybody here, naturally we will be killed. So we are advised to be vegetarians to collect the least amount of karma. We have such a heavy store of karmas, such a heavy load with us already, that we should try to reduce rather than increase that load during our lifespan. As stated earlier, we are living within the realm of relative reality. The purpose of our life is God realization. Since we have no other option but to make choices here, in the case of diet, we have the option of restricting our intake of food to those substances which give us the least possible karmic burden. Such a light load of karma can be easily disposed of in the daily meditation practice taught by a perfect master.